Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Choice, Change, and Action podcast. So, again, you're with me, your host, and it's just me flying solo again. I'm actually in Italy. It's been so nice to be in Italy after being in Russia and Poland and Romania, like beautiful places on the planet and a really different energy. So it was interesting. I was with a colleague of mine, a friend, Graham, and when we flew in to Italy, we were both like, wow, this like has such a peaceful sense to it. Like there was a softness to it. And, no right or wrong. It's just interesting to have a look at the different energies that each country has or each region has. For me, it's always, an ability that we have to tap into the land as well. Like what's the heartbeat of the land where you are? Like even just take a moment wherever you are in the world right now, what are you aware of? Like what is the heartbeat of the land? And then where you are, and then what is the heartbeat of the entire planet, and then what is the heartbeat of the entire universe. And it's like, what if that was something that you allowed it to contribute to you each and every single day and to all of your choices? So I'm at the castle, Castle Borgoni. It's a castle that I am part owner of in about 30 minutes from Turin, an hour and a half from Milan. Depends who's driving, I always like to say. And we are here about to do a class, and it's just so beautiful and so peaceful again. Unfortunately, there's not a great deal of many places like that in the world. And right now, the world seems to have so much havoc going on. Now, I'm a big fan of chaos, but chaos is different. Chaos is about the magic. Chaos is about being in question. Chaos is about receiving, your ability to receive. Chaos is about infinite choice. It's something so much bigger and so much greater, and yet havoc and that chaotic energy create like a shutdown. And the way I've been looking at a lot of things recently is, as I choose, is it opening a door? Is it opening a door, or is it just slamming doors shut? So there is a way that you can manipulate, the way that you can choose, the way you can empower, all of that, that is opening doors. Okay. If you also stop trying to look at making sure other people like you or making sure that other people get what you're talking about, what if you chose for you? And that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today, is actually committing to you, like committing to your, not just your life, so you're existing, but committing to your living. What is committing to your living for you? Like, what if you were committed to have more ease, more joy, more possibilities? What are you unwilling to change? Like, what are you currently holding on to? And it could be relationships, business, money, points of view. Like, usually it's your point of view about something that you're unwilling to let go of that would actually give you some more freedom. So what if you were committed to having more of you, committing to your being, okay? So when you commit to any area of your life, it's like you start creating that. One of the things, Gary Douglas and Dane here, founder and co-creator of Access Consciousness, they did a class a little while ago, and it was called Realms of Creation. And one of the things that I really picked up on it and I've been playing with is a great tool of the realms of creation and the realms of possibility. Is this choice, question, possibility where there is no rightness and there is no wrongness? You get to choose. You get to create your reality. You get to choose it. And I don't get that we acknowledge the magic that we are enough. When something shows up and you're like, yeah, this is my reality. This is my reality. This is my reality. The magic. The magic is you. Okay. When something shows up and you go, oh my God, that was so lucky, or can't believe that showed up. Can you stop that and actually believe it? You asked for it. And if you're committing to your life so that you can truly live, it's like, what else could show up? Because like I said, you'll start creating that. So let's look at, as an example, let's look at money. How many of you don't believe more money can show up? Or I actually spoke to someone on my Profit Club. By the way, I have a membership that's $28 a month, US dollars, $28 a month. You can join a Telegram thread. You don't have to be active in there at all. I'm really bad at Telegram. And you get 2 calls with me a month that you can download within that month, and you get the clearings, etc. Okay. And we were talking about this yesterday. Gosh, where did I go to? The Profit Club. We were talking about this yesterday. Oh wow, totally lost it. Anyway, the idea is like, what would it take for you to be choosing for you? Okay. Not based on what anybody else thinks. It's like, what are you committed to? That's right, money. I was talking about money. And someone said there was this shame with having too much money. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter if you've got $10 in your bank account or $10 million. Some people have a shame for having no money, and some people have a shame for having money. What if that shame was not yours? What if you were just committed to having, recently I've been asking for, what would it take to have a surplus of revenue? Okay. So what would it take to have a surplus, committed to ease, joy, and glory? Like right today, I'm committed to ease, joy, and glory with money. I'm committed to, more possibilities showing up in my financial reality. So when you are being an energy of like, yes, this is my reality, okay? When you're truly being that and you're being you, you are actually committed. Now, when I keep saying the word committed, how many of you go to that would mean you'd have to give something up? Well, here's the thing. How much are you committed to your life? What percentage? If I ask you right now, what percentage are you committed to your life? 10, 15%, 20%, 50%? Just have a look at it. What if you were 100% committed to your life? Now, here's the way it works. If you're 20% committed to your life, right? Well, then everything that shows up is not your fault. There's always somebody else to blame. It's not on you. Whereas if you're 100% committed, everything is on you. So that's when you start to truly be in question and have no judgment. Because how often do you go to judgment? Because that's quicker than not going to judgment. Okay. It's actually not true, but we tend to choose that. If you are 100% committed to your life, then some of the questions I would be, giving you is, what's right about this I'm not getting? So when something shows up that's not working for you or the way you thought it should show up, what's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about me I'm not getting? How did I create this? One of my favorite questions, okay? Because a lot of the times you'll go to, oh, well, he said this, she said that, they didn't do this, blah, 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 and it starts blaming everybody else. Well, what part of it did you create? When were you aware that you actually had to change something? Now, that's a level of commitment most of you are not willing to choose, because you're always waiting for somebody else to align and agree with you or resist and react, rather than going, oh, there's an energy. Okay, it's time for change. Okay. So the commitment to you too is knowing to choose something. You got to choose. What can you change? And then committing to it. Okay, I'm having this, no matter what it takes, no matter what it looks like, I'm having this. Okay. You demand of yourself and you request of the universe. Okay. You cannot demand of anybody else. I know you might like to think you can, but you cannot. Okay. Make that demand of you. So look at your life right now. What's an area of your life that is not showing up the way you would like it to? Okay. Look, I'm going to name some common things: financial reality, business, relationships, any of your relationships. It could be a friendship, it could be a lover, it could be anything. Your body. Okay. Now, if any of those ping for you, or if you've got something else, just put your attention on it. What would you have to change in order to have what it is you desire? And everything at that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, provids, creations, bases, and beyonds. The Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, which you can find out more at theclearingstatement.com. So here's the thing. The magic is in the commitment that you choose, okay? Like when I chose to get out of debt, that was literally one of the hardest things I ever chose. Getting out of debt. Like the second book I ever wrote, Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. If you don't have it, get it. It's also on Audible. It's in many, many different languages. And I knew so much what it was like to be in debt. I knew what it was like to hustle, to get money, rent's due, oh my goodness, or avoid something, or get a payment plan, or, just ignore someone, whatever that was. I knew what that was like. I knew what that energy was like. I knew what it was like to say, I can't afford something and actually mean it and create that as my reality. And somewhere like insanely, I thought someone's going to come knocking on the door and go, it's okay, it's all over, we've changed everything for you. Well, that didn't happen. I actually had to make the demand of myself and request of the universe, I'm changing this. I'm changing this. So with my financial reality, it's like I started using the Access Consciousness tools, and I took quite a few of them, and I went, okay, I'm going to make the demand that I choose these tools. And I made like the demand of myself and request of the universe for 3 months. Let's use these tools and see if something changes. And at the end of 3 months, I sat down and looked at my finances, and, I didn't have like this huge amount of money, but I also had more ease with money. I noticed there was more of a sense of peace with money, right? That was changing because I was choosing it. Okay. So you need to choose, ask what you can change, and commit to that. Okay. So one of the things I'm looking at the moment is, I guess like that style of living. And I'm like, what is it? And I keep playing with it. What is it that I would like? Like at the moment, I'm away for 3 months, doing classes pretty much every weekend. I'm like, okay, is this working for me? Someone asked me the other day and I went, oh, he said, would you do it again? I went, it's not a no and it's not a yes. But if I did do it, I'd have to stay in some really beautiful, nice luxury hotels, maybe get VIP at the airports, etc. Because if you haven't had VIP at an airport, it's incredible. They fast track you through everything. You get like your own private lounge, like all of this. It's even when you get off a plane, they just come and meet you and take your little luggage tags, go get your luggage. So it's just a lot more ease on the body. Is it a necessity? No, it's a choice. Okay. So remember, I'm talking about choosing what would you need to change and what can you commit to, right? Now, it's also allowing the change because we tend to get committed to our judgments. So, how many judgments are you currently committed to? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, perverts, creations, bases, and beyonds. How many lies are you committed to? And how many points of view that are not yours, that are other people's, are you committed to that holds you back? This is a big thing. This morning, this actually came up for me, is desiring somebody else's acknowledgement. If there is anywhere that you are seeking acknowledgement from anyone, are you actually truly being you? Are you being you in totality, or are you looking for somebody else to acknowledge you? If you're looking for somebody else to acknowledge you, guess what? It's never going to show up. What if you woke up in the morning and you went, damn, I get to be me. Thank you, body. Thank you, me. Thank you for everything that I am choosing. Thank you for everything that I am choosing to commit to and change. And I'm going to have more of me today. That's my reality. That's the magic. I'm going to choose happy no matter what anybody else is choosing around me. One of the things I always look at too is I make a really concerted effort to treat people the way I would like to be treated. Okay. Now, in saying that, it doesn't mean that you give up you. Okay. Whether it's I don't know, a waitress or the concierge at the hotel, or, or someone I'm working with, I would like to treat them the way I would like to be treated, because that's the world I would like to live in. Is it some insane utopian ideal? Maybe. And it's not going to stop me from choosing that. Like, what if there was a gratitude I had for other beings that they're not willing to have of them? It's just one of the things I've been playing with. So, what are you committed to today? Are you committed to pain and suffering? Are you committed to struggle? Are you committed to complaining? Are you committed to what's fucked up in the world? What if you could change that? Remember, choose, change, and commit. And what if making a commitment to you, living a life without limitation, what would you choose? Because when you're being you, you become this question, right? You become this question, and you become a question that allows so much more to show up. You have more availability for you, your body, your business, your financial reality, your relationships, because you have more sense of a space. What space are you unwilling to be? That if you allowed yourself to be that space, you could commit to more showing up, greatness showing up. So, what if you committed, like I said at the beginning, what if you committed to ease, joy, and glory? Remember, the mantra of Access Consciousness is all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. What if you were committed to that? So, a couple of questions I play with too when I'm looking at choosing something: will this be ease? Will this create the future I desire? Will it make me happy? Will it bring me joy? Will it bring others joy? Okay. So you can choose whatever questions you desire to ask. And it's like, what if you started being more in question about your whole entire life? Like, is it actually working for you? What you currently have, is it enough? Now, that doesn't have to come from a sense of greed. It's like I've created a lot in my life. Okay. I'm very comfortable. I'm successful. I'm happy, like all of this. Is it enough? I get more of a no. Okay, so what else can I be in the world? What else would I like to choose in this lifetime? And for me, living in one place also isn't enough for me. It's like I would like to have more places that have a level of comfort for me around the world. Okay, so what have I got to choose? Like currently, I'm like, oh, what would it take to have a place in Italy? That I could use as a base when I come to Europe. I love being in Europe. It's amazing. But I also love being in Australia, and I love being in South America. I love being in so many different places around the world. What if you don't have to commit to just having one place? It's like you can have the diversity of having the world be your home. Now, I actually wrote about this in Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. I was living in Brisbane at one point, and I was looking to move to the Sunshine Coast where I live now in Peregian Beach. And someone said to me, oh, are you going to keep your Brisbane apartment? And I looked at them like, are you insane? I was like, why would I have two places? Why would I have two houses, like two places to live? And I realized I was committed to having a smaller life. I was committed to having a finite life by going, oh, I could only have one place that I could call home. That's not true. You can have many, okay? So what if you started committing today to a bigger living that you enjoy? It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if they judge you or if they think that you've created too much or you're having too much or whatever their point of view is. Whatever their projections and expectations are, who cares, right? And you really have to even commit to that you don't actually have a point of view of other people's points of view. If you live your life by wondering what somebody else is thinking about what you're choosing, is that committing to you, or is that committing to other people's limitations and other people's judgments? Okay. So are you willing to have your capacities and your abilities show up no matter if somebody gets it or not? Like, you can have so much more. Like at one stage with business, I remember Gary Douglas said to me, he was watching what I was choosing with my business. This is like when I met him, like, I met him 25 years ago. So this was probably like 23 years ago. And he said to me, do you realize you don't have to destroy a business in order to start another one? I was like, what? I wish somebody had told me that before. I honestly was like, okay, this reality goes one business, like one job, one business, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's not true. That's a lie. How many businesses would you like to have? How many revenue streams would you like to have? What if you were committed to having so many revenue streams that brought you so much joy and so much money and so much ease? Everybody goes, oh, that's going to be hard work. Oh, that's going to be more hours. It doesn't have to be. That's the lie. Stop committing to the lies and start committing to the choices that you can have, to asking questions, to being in question. So everything that is times a gazillion, everywhere this is like so different. You actually are going to have to claim how different you are. We destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, provids, creations, bases, and beyonds. What would you have to acknowledge if you were truly committed to your business? What would you have to acknowledge if you were truly committed to your body? What would you have to acknowledge if you were truly committed to your financial reality? What would you have to acknowledge if you were truly committed to living, no matter what the fuck anybody else thinks? And everything that is, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, provids, creations, bases, and beyonds. It's like, ask the question, who do you think of before you choose? Notice what comes up, okay? How many of you think of kids, family, parents, like money? Like who or what actually is a better question. Who or what do you think of before you choose? Okay, so right now you can make that demand and say, okay, from now on, I am going to include others, but I'm also going to include me. I'm also going to include money. You know, I'm going to be a steward of money. I'm going to be a steward of the planet, a steward of the land, a steward with the animals, a steward with my body, all of that. And a steward is when you are including, like if you're a steward of the land, you're taking care of the land as well. Okay. There's no exclusion, but you don't become less than. You're not making everything or everyone else more important or more significant than you, okay? As you choose for you, it's not about excluding, it's about including. But where are you in the computation of your choices, okay? So, what commitment can you be for yourself today? What commitment can you be for your business, for your finances, for your body, for your relationships today? Like if there's something that's not working in your relationship, what if you could ask the question, okay, so true, does this relationship actually still work for me? Ask a question. It doesn't mean you have to go yelling at somebody or blaming someone. No, if you're 100% committed to you, it's like, okay, what can I be that would allow this to change? Like a couple of days ago, I was super tired and I said to a friend of mine, I never look at, that saying of my glass is half empty, right? Some people say half full, half empty. I never look at my glass as half empty. And I was like, I had the sense that my glass was just full. But instead of going, my glass is full, I went, all right, I had a moment. And then I went, what else can I be? You know what? Yeah, it's full. Let's just get a bigger glass. Because I'm an infinite being. I can have more, I can receive more, I can choose more, I can be more, I can take more action, I can all of that and more. And that also includes the relaxation within it. It's not the havoc and the chaotic energy and the scurry. It's the energy that you choose to be with everything that comes your way. And when you're committed to you, you'll create a different possibility with every single choice you make. So I know this is a really different reality because we're not taught that. We're taught to think of everybody else and to buy the judgments and the lies as true. I'm asking, well, I'm putting it forward to you. What if everything you've ever been told you found out was a lie? What would you choose today? What next? What next for you? Okay? What next for you? Start to look at that as a reality. Okay, so I'm so grateful for all of you being here, like super, super grateful. I have a few things coming up that I wanted to mention to you as well. I actually have a Getting Out of Debt Joyfully class starting in August, and it's online. And there's quite a few days that are in between so that you get some home play, because the Getting Out of Debt Joyfully class has some really pragmatic tools about changing your financial reality. Now, you have to be willing to commit to that, okay? It starts on August the 6th. That's Australia, August the 6th. So starts then. I've also got in August Relationships Done Different class, which is totally fun. That's 4 days in a row. It's my afternoon in Australia starting on the 22nd of August, which means that it's a good time for Europe, etc. relationships done different. It's like, what if every relationship that you have was actually a different possibility? So that's a couple of things that I have coming up. I have so many things showing up. So you can go check out my website on SimoneMilasas.com, and don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends, tell whoever. And I just want to say again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being you. And what commitment can you be to you today that would allow more, just more? Be willing to have so much more, okay? And have way too much fun. Have joy, ease. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory.